Hello, welcome to Atrocious Gameplay. Now, today, you have been doing the Players Cup for the last couple days, and you're like, maybe, oh man, I don't know what to play. I just don't want to play ADP or Eternatus the entire time. Or you faced a ton of ADP or Eternatus, and you're like, by golly, Batman, I just want to get past these decks to be able to continue in the Players Cup because you are striving to get in the top of your region, whatever that is, top 256, top 128, whatever. This video right here is going to help you provide 3 decks that are definitely not ADP and definitely not Eternatus, where these decks could beat either of them in a tournament, and I feel like are pretty strong choices just overall in the general meta of the game that you can get some wins out of and win some tournaments. So if you like what you see in this spicy video with these spicy decks, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And here we go. We'll take you into the first deck that I've got for you today, which is a Lucario and Mewtwo list. Now, this is a little bit different from the one that has been on my channel. We just recently covered a deck profile done by Josh Sutherland about Lucario Mewtwo. Very, very interesting in the fact that this has a little bit of changes. Recently, I've been seeing people play a lot of this for DeciGoons, a deck that is kind of strong if you don't know how to play around it or you're not ready for it. You kind of just take an auto loss to it. So this is how this deck somewhat deals with it. You kind of use Snap Trap, and with Lucario Mewtwo's Full Metal Wall GX, it takes DeciGoons 3 hits to knock this Stunfisk out, and every time it hits, it's gonna lose 3 energies because of Snap Trap. Even when they're playing the big Parasol, the Parasol is effects from attacks, not effects from abilities. So this is where the Stunfisk provides a very, very nice thing. Also, Damage Rush, maybe you just get lucky if you want to attack with it. I don't always recommend it, but maybe if you like chip into it a little bit with something, maybe like the Zamazenta or like a Rangaroo or something like that. Well, you can't even hit into it with Zamazenta. You can get rid of special energies with Zamazenta, but you can't actually do damage. So if you just need to do a little bit more damage, the Galarian Stunfisk can do well because it does 70 and maybe you hit 60 with a heads flip. Other than that, this is a pretty standard Lucario Mewtwo list that we've seen, except for the Bronzong. Now, Bronzong, after the first Players Cup done by Jack Miller and company, it kind of fell off a little bit. This was a good, strong card, a 2-2 line, I believe, that Jack and his partner played. You can go check them out on the Players Cup results on limitlesstcg.com. Bronzong with Heat Proof, I still feel like is a good addition in this deck without kind of sacrificing everything that you want to do. With the Bronzong Heat Proof, you prevent all damage from fire Pokemon, which especially through Centiskorch, they have to come at you with like Double or Kramer or something like that, which is fine because you just go at them with like Azashi and V or something like that. So Bronzong can provide a lot of problems. It doesn't auto win you the Centiskorch matchup, but especially when you have weakness guard energies in the deck, Bronzong can buy you a lot of time and force your opponents to boss things up, which can be very valuable in the long run. So this is a very strong deck that I like personally. I will play some games with it. I've just enjoyed Lucario Mewtwo as of late. We played it a little bit on stream as well at twitch.tv/atrociousgameplay. So I hope that you enjoy it too. But a second deck that I want to check out is one that has been going by storm through a lot of people. A lot of big name players have been playing it too, and it is Mewtwo-Psychic version. So this is a very interesting build of Mewtwo that until recently people have kind of just disregarded, saying Malamar's rotated in the format. Don't play this deck, it's garbage. But Azul and Danny Altavilla have both played this deck, and they have done super well with it as of recent in tournaments. I believe Azul got second in Epoch recently in another tournament, and then Danny Altavilla got, I believe it was top 4, it might have been third. It's somewhere in the top results of the top 4 with this deck in the Full Grip online series that they've been doing, the second one, I believe, that just happened the other day. This is a very strong list in my opinion. This is kind of a combination of the two. They both have the same archetype, they both have the same thing, but the ideas are changed a little bit differently. Danny Altavilla played 4 Boss's Orders instead of having a Naganadel in the list. I think Naganadal's pretty good, especially when you're running this Rotom right here, which is fairly easy to get if you want to go get some. All you need is a play set. The Energy Assist does very, very well, providing the flexibility of going in with either the Mewtwo or the Trevenant and Dusknoir, which kind of are your two main attackers. Pale Moon GX is very, very good in my personal opinion. And then Cosmic Burn is perfect because that does the damage against Zacian, and we love it when that happens, especially because you are playing 3 switches in this deck and then also 2 air balloons. You're going to have a lot of switching effects to where you could do a lot of different things. And then obviously Darkest Tornado, it's such a good move, along with Crushing Punch being a very fantastic move for Incineroar GX in this deck as well. Just kind of makes this deck very powerful. It can be very oppressive too with Night Watch, especially when you talk about, you know, maybe they take a knockout and you go reset stamp Night Watch, putting them down to like 1 or maybe even 0 cards, especially if they go knock out a Rotom early in the game, knock out maybe a Mewtwo, and then because you've used Rotom for like energy assist, you've built enough energies to be able to use Trevenant and Dusknoir to be able to take all their cards away and put them at a 0 card hand, which really kind of destroys a lot of decks right now in this format, trying to be able to top deck. So this is another strong list that I highly encourage that you try out. It's very fun. Mewtwo is always kind of the it has a higher skill level because there's a lot of different options and stuff, and there's a lot of different routes that you can take with Mewtwo decks in toolboxes. So I highly encourage maybe you practice some games with this on the ladder before you start playing in some tournaments. But this next deck I feel like is probably the strongest one. Now, we've mentioned already, Eternatus has been running around all over the Players' Cup. ADP, been running around all over the Players' Cup. Let's look at a deck that kind of just runs that over in DeciGoons. Now, DeciGoons is a very fun deck, very, very cool. Edward Valencia has been killing it right now in online tournaments with this deck. Has been very, very nice, especially with the addition of the item that I mentioned earlier, the Big Parasol. So this is a really, really cool deck. The DeciGoons, if you do not know, prevents all damage with the Pokemon V and GXs, which is very, very good, along with Splitting Arrow doing some spread damage as well as some base damage onto the active Pokemon. Also have the flexibility with Obstagoon. Obstagoon we saw through the Limitless Qualifier through Grant Manley and Chainer Chip. They were just making a tear with this archetype with Obstagoon. So a very, very strong card. Very, very like it in this list. You're running the Jirachi and Rosa engine, which I think is pretty good in my personal opinion. It's pretty consistent. I don't usually have too many problems with this list as I've been playing it, but with tournaments, especially if everybody's running with like ADP and Eternatus, man, you just set up one DeciGoons and there's almost nothing that they can do. Like, sure, they can possibly like use Duraludon or something like that, but especially if that's a vast majority of the meta right now, this is definitely a good call, because this can also take you wins against other good decks as well. This kind of does decently against some one prizers, not too much because 90 is only like a certain cap in the damage, but you can kind of scam your way through a lot of the other matchups because a lot of people are playing VMAXs, a lot of people are playing GXs, things like that, and they struggle really to get around this. This deck hasn't necessarily been respected yet, in my personal opinion. So that is going to be all 3 decks. I know this is a little bit shorter of a video, but I just wanted to showcase 3 decks for the Players' Cup. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And I apologize for this video not going up on Tuesday. Originally, I had it scheduled for Tuesday and I had it ready to go, but apparently there was like some corruption with the video on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure how it happened, but because I had a really busy day yesterday going to work, I had to travel pretty far, about a half hour away for work the other day instead of just walking 10 feet across the street. I couldn't get another video up, so I decided that it would be good to just put this video up today, and we'll still have a video on Thursday and we'll still have a video on Saturday. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is our usual schedule. This is a little bit different just because of my full-time job. Can't get around that. I do this in my free time. Thank you all for the support. I hope you enjoy these decks. Let me know in the comments also what you plan on playing for the Players' Cup, because I am vastly interested to maybe even try out new archetypes, because I want to try to avoid playing a bunch of like ADP in the event. That's really what I want to do.